Welcome to Atlanta Tarot. This is the tarot forecast for Aquarius for the month of July, including late June 2026. So welcome, Aquarius. We're currently in the zodiac sign of Cancer. So we have the element of water. So lots of emotional stuff going on this 4 weeks, Aquarius. Ups and downs, maybe great emotional awareness coming in, or you may feel quite stagnant and like at a loss to know what the hell's going on emotions wise. But just go with the flow, because you're in your 6th house of housekeeping, I should say. Housekeeping is like attending to all those things that we sort of forget about as the months roll on of the year. We forget the dentist appointment, we put that off, then we get all these niggling health problems that come in. So it encompasses both your housekeeping of your daily life and the housekeeping of your health. So don't be surprised if something starts niggling away that's been niggling. Now's the time to do something about it. It's the 6th house is ruled by Virgo, so very much about getting your ducks in a row, being very sort of strategic about getting that list ticked off or crossed off, whichever way you want to do it. So let's get in. The energy around for you is the 3rd of Cups, the 3 of Cups. So lots of celebrations could be at foot this 4 weeks. Could be a pregnancy that's discovered to be celebrated. Could be a wedding, or just having a nice good time as well with the 3 of Cups. So it's a rather glorious card to get most ways, and it does involve 3 people, and that's why I say pregnancy as well. So 2 becomes 3, that kind of energy. Or it could involve, because it's Cups, so it's emotional, belongs to Cancer, so it could be something to do with 3 people in your life. Okay, let's see where you are right now, Aquarius. 3 of Swords, another 3. 3 is all about building, expansion and growth. So 3 of Swords is all about grieving, broken-heartedness, that kind of energy where we tap into past happenings that have really caused us grief. So we tap in, or basically it taps us in and sort of reminds us of something that was previously painful, still is, because it's grief, so it'll be there for your life, but it's also about healing. And once again, we've got 3 here, so healing is really important this month over past heartbreaks, or people in your life who have passed away, or who are not very well, all that kind of thing. But we have to acknowledge it in order to heal. Okay, so let's see, Aquarius, what's brought that on, particularly with the Challenger or Influencer card. 6 of Wands, ongoing success. So things going really well, and Wands, as you know, is very much a card of movement. It's a card of travel, it's a card of things just rolling along really nicely, because you're putting in a lot of effort to whatever project or your work or just your daily life is really moving along really well. And then, you know, it's crossing the 3 of Swords, so it's sort of saying, yes, you may be feeling this sadness at the moment, but however, look at the big picture and see that basically everything in your life is pretty good. But then every now and again, when we get the 3 of Swords, we have to tap into that, or that taps into you. Usually that taps into you. So ongoing success there. So as you know, this card sort of resonates over the whole reading. So it's a pretty good card and pretty good position to sort of keep your mind in the game, to think, yeah, okay, look, I may feel sad, but everything else in my life, I've got it pretty well sorted. Let's go into the background and see what's been going on there in the last, or accumulating, and still present today, still in the mix, is Page of Swords. Now, Page of Swords is kind of a, once again, it's swords, so this is mind energy and how we sort of perceive things with our mind, not our soul. So Page of Swords, excuse me, is all about sort of things being up in the air, ideas that maybe are floating around that you haven't made concrete, that you haven't brought out of the mind and into the active place where things start happening. And you're just thinking about it all the time. It's an idea, it's a wish, it's something like that, but you haven't sort of made manifest of it. So also this one can mean gossip, people talking about you, people looking on your Instagram or your Facebook or your social platforms, people from the past maybe delving in to see what you're up to. And it's a pretty interesting card, I think. Often when I get that, I think, oh, I wonder who that is. I think I could work it out. But yeah, it's just an airy fairy card really that hasn't really got any weight to it. So if you've got ideas, put them into practice. Don't just let them waft around in the breeze, because they'll just always be an idea. That's a good card to get in the Sixth House too. Make things manifest, make it happen, make it into something. Recent influences, Two of Cups. So this is your soulmate card, or your reconnection card with somebody or something that you hold very dear, and there's just a very strong connection with it, with that person, or it can be a project as well. Excuse me, it's a very good card to get, your soulmate card. So you know there is an attraction there, or there is a reaffirmation of whoever, if you're with somebody, or it can be platonic or romantic. So you'll make your mind up how that applies to you, but it's a really good card. It's sort of like a teacher-student card as well, like soulmates do teach us hard lessons as well as great connections. So it's about how we learn from another person, or a project as well, because there's no such thing in this life as a straight line. Things go up and down, as we know. But a beautiful card as well, especially with the Three of Cups here too. So there's emotion coming in, there's connection, and just focus on that because it looks really good. Let's proceed so we can see the rest of the story before really, you know, seeing what's actually going on. Let's see the lesson you'll learn. Queen of Pentacles. Now, she is very stable. She's very grounded. She's that woman that seems to have it all in order. Everything's done. She's a great cook, great homemaker, great at work. She's just an all-round fabulous woman. But she's worked hard to get there. Very much Pentacles, so she's an earthy type. Feet on the ground. Now, if there were to be, for example, with this Three of Cups sitting here, if you have met now this is throwing it out there, but if you may have met somebody recently with the Two of Cups, there could be some situation with that person that there's three of you in it. We haven't got to that yet, but this Queen of Pentacles often reminds me, sometimes you may meet somebody that's absolutely, you know, just out of the blue, that's absolutely fabulous, and you connect in an amazing way. But then there might be a third person that you haven't been aware of. And she normally is that person. She is not the other woman. She's the partner of, if you get my gist. Now, this could be way out for most of you, but I'm just saying I'm compelled to sort of read what I see. And if it applies to you, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But overall, the Queen of Pentacles could be just referring to yourself or your partner. There's a stability going on here. Okay, let's move into near future to see more of this puzzle. And we have the 10 of Pentacles, so stability reigns supreme yet again. So looking really good here. Family life, things going really well, money in the bank, all that sort of thing. But stability is the overriding word and meaning here with the 10 of Pentacles. So you're pretty sorted. Okay, wow. So let's see what's happening that you're not realising that is really poignant to the reading. This is the key usually. And we have the High Priestess. So secrets. Things made manifest. Now, major card here too, so major arcana, so big deal. So there may be some sort of relationship blooming here with the 2 of Cups. But it's a really special one. It's one of those really strong connections where it's like, even if it isn't appropriate at the time, if you know what I mean, it's still there. And so then you have a decision to make about what to do about it. But also, giving it more weight, this High Priestess, she keeps her own counsel. So it's about keeping things to yourself. It's not about going and telling everyone, oh, hey, I met this amazing person, blah, blah, blah. But you're attached, that kind of thing. But the connection is still the connection, whether you like it or not. And it's what you do about it that's important. So that is your queen. It's asking you, the High Priestess is asking you to keep things to yourself. Acknowledge connections when they come in, if they are for positive or negative. But sometimes connections are just that. But then, you know, this sort of human logic comes in and says, yeah, well, amazing connection, but I can't do anything about it because I've already got somebody or I'm embroiled in something. So this is coming through that you're not realising, so just pay heed to that. And if it's something completely different that it's occurring for you, just keep matters to yourself until it sort of reveals itself. So that is the High Priestess. She's highly intuitive. So she knows when to say something and when not to. So really take note in this Cancerian period of emotions of what you say and what you keep to yourself this 4 weeks, because it's really important. Because otherwise, we don't know, but it could not be a good outcome. Let's see how others see you. This will be interesting, Aquarius. Decisions to make. So you're sitting there umming and ahhing day in, day out. Should I do this? Should I do that? Once again, it's mind energy. So you've got 3 of those at the moment with the sword. So it's mind energy. So you just can't seem to make up your mind to move forward. And this is how other people are seeing you. So someone's waiting upon a decision from you about something. Now, as we do have these emotions here and the heartbreak here and the stability as well, it's very much an interesting, it's going to be an interesting outcome. But what you've got to do with this 2 of Swords, it's like the other people looking at you are going, well, come on, just make a decision. You can't sit there in limbo going, oh, I can't do it, I can't. That's what that is. So you need to make a decision in order to move forward. Otherwise, it just sits like the Page of Swords. It sits in the ether doing nothing. It's just a nothing. And you're stuck then. Okay, positive feelings. Oh, God, I've run over time. And we have the Hanged Man. So we have going with the flow, looking at the world from a different perspective. Now, you're feeling positive about this, so this is really quite interesting. Don't make a move yet. There's more to be revealed. So says the High Priestess as well, like keeping things to yourself, just looking at what's going on for you, particularly Aquarius, from a different level, i.e. hanging upside down, and he's comfortable there. He's not trying desperately to get upright, is he? So take heed of these 2 major cards because they're really strong and they sort of trump the minor arcana in this, in all cases, but especially for this, it's a very interesting reading, Aquarius. Okay, let's go to the outcome. My goodness. And we have the 10 of Cups. So we come out at the end of all of this with that feeling of back to loving oneself, back to feeling fulfilled by oneself, not by somebody else, or getting involved with somebody and hoping that they're going to sort of make all the rainbows and unicorns come out, and you know, and that will be happily ever after. This is when we love ourselves first, and then we can have somebody or meet a soulmate connection that you're not expecting them to give you all this stuff in order to feel stable. Very interesting. Now I'm just going to pop one more clarifier on that Two of Swords about why you're hesitating about this decision. Whatever applies to you, you know the drill, Aquarius. So let's see what's underneath the surface of you unable to make this decision as seen by others. Three of Cups. So it's some kind of celebration. It may well involve another person that is really not optimum at this time. Yes. Okay. I will leave it at that. I know it sounds a bit sort of up in the air, as in the Page of Swords, but that's the message for this 4 weeks for you. So if you're going to get married, get married. If you're in love with somebody or met somebody who's already embroiled in a relationship, well, you need to go to the Ten of Cups and go, okay, look, you know, this is amazing, but I have to understand who I am before I go jumping into things that may cause very awful repercussions to other people. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great 4 weeks.